So the Springboks lineup for the last match of the Rugby Championship has just been announced. Rassie Erasmus making minimal changes compared to what we did see in that last match up against Argentina. The score in that one, 67-30. It still seems unreal, but the thing is, it wasn't the only time the South Africans have won a game with confidence, and they will come into this game at Twickenham with quite a bit of that as well. But jumping straight into the front row, it is Oxenshire as the number 1. Now, he didn't play in the last match due to a late injury, but he is going to be back for this match here. Malcolm Marx gets that starting spot as the number 2, and Thomas Tatoy slots in as the 3. So no changes theoretically than what we were going to see in that last match up against Los Pumas. But of course, with Oxenshire back, just adds that little bit more power in the scrum for the side. And I should also mention no Boan Venter at all in this lineup. So he has been taken out, and instead Jan-Hendrik Vessels will make his way off of the bench in the locking duo. This is where Eben Etzebeth will be starting as the number 4, with Ruan Nokia slotting in at 5. It is a dangerous duo. It caused Argentina all sorts of problems in the last contest. The lineouts were shaky, but not for the Boks. And that is exactly what they want heading into this contest as well. That little bit of uncertainty for Julio Montoya when it comes to throwing that ball. Those two men can certainly cause it for the green and gold. In the loose forward trio, this is where we see it unchanged from last contest. Seo Kolisi as the number 6, Peter Steph-Tatoy at 7, and Jasper Wiese slotting in as the 8. Some expected some sort of rotation from Rassie, but I think what this lineup says is he was more than happy with how they performed in that last contest. And also, at the end of the day, the Rugby Championship is still on the line. They want to go into this game with one of their strongest lineups, and they want to get that bonus point, which would well and truly secure the Rugby Championship. The backline, number 9, Kobus Reinach. Now, I'll be honest, that was probably the biggest surprise in terms of this lineup. I thought maybe Rassie would look to go with Vandenberg, Faf de Klerk, or maybe even Grant Williams now that he's returned from injury. It just didn't quite seem to go Kobus's way in that first match. But the thing is, even with those errors, he was still a very solid player out there on the park, and that is one positive to really take from that 19 combo. And of course, if it was based off form, there was never going to be a change here. In that number 10 jersey, it is Sasha Feinberg Mngomezulu. That man scored 37 points from the last contest. He also managed to get himself the hat-trick. He will be looking forward to this contest to see whether or not he can back it up with 2 massive games in a row. In the midfield, it is Damien Dialendi as the number 12, and Kanan Moody slotting in at 13, so actually no changes there compared to what we saw last week. Ethan Hooker remains on the left wing. I know that there were a few concerns about his ankle, but he is 100% and rearing to go. Cheslin Colby out on the right wing. Even with that early blunder, that man was still firing on all cylinders throughout the game. He has got speed, he's got aerial ability, and he's got a hat-trick in him at some point throughout 2025. Sasha got it last game. Perhaps Colby at Twickenham could be exactly when we do see that. And number 15, it's Damian Valimza. Now, the reason I say that with a lot of surprise is he was rumoured throughout the week to not be playing in this game due to an injury. Yeah, here he is in that number 15 jersey. Who knows? Maybe he's going to be a late switch like the Ox was in that last game. But if Damian Valimza is out there at 15, and Sasha Feinberg Mngomezulu is there at 10, and you still got Colby, you got Dialendi, you got Peter Steph, it's going to be a hard game for the Argentines. I know that this Rugby Championship has had ups and downs for these teams, but this is a good side in the starting lineup, and I do think it is going to be doing very well for this last round of the Rugby Championship. Jumping into the bench, it doesn't get much easier. Bongi Umbanambi as the number 16, Jan-Hendrik Vessels at 17, and Wilco Lowe slots in at 18. So the 2 props from the Bulls are together off the bench for this game, and also that return from Bongi Umbanambi, who we haven't seen in a Springbok kit for quite some time. Arges Snyman there as the number 19, with Quaka Smith at 20. So once again, that 5-3 split for the Boks here. Grant Williams, number 21, so he returns from his injury. Mani Libok, he had a great game off the bench up against the All Blacks, and also a pretty strong performance off the bench in the last game for the Boks as well. And then number 23, this is where we do see Jesse Kriel. So Andre Esterhuizen taken out, Kriel comes back in, and maybe that is just to lighten the minutes a little bit of Kanan Moody. Of course, last year Jesse Kriel was the Iron Man, This year, Moody's had a fair old share of time out there on the park, so I'd assume that's where that switch comes in, plus the wing cover of Krill as well as Kane and Moody. But that is the Springboks side, ladies and gents. We have to wait a few more days until we find out who Argentina have got in their side, but do let me know what you think of this team. I have to say, on paper, it looks like a bloody good one, and it is going to take a monumental Argentine performance to be able to cause any sort of upset in the Rugby Championship competition. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be doing the commentary on the channel for the match as well, so be sure to check that out, as well as a preview a little bit closer to kickoff. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all for the next one.